Hello, everyone, and welcome to this chess rating run series. This is part 44, and in this first video, I'll play a 15-minute game with a 10-second increment, and then after that, I'll follow up with a follow-up video where I'll do a game review and see what I missed and see what we can learn from that game. All right, so let's find an opponent here. Let's see. Okay, we have black, and they are 1545, so a little bit, well, let's see what they did here. E4. So how should we respond? Should we attack, counterattack with C5? I'll go for a Sicilian and see what they do. All right, so looks like, all right, they're playing C3 to help fortify the center here. So we'll just attack the center with our knight. And, now what should we try and do? Well, we could play this to keep his bishop from pinning our knight. And that's interesting. So now he has kind of moved his bishop here. Maybe he'll swing it back here to C2. Let's see. Well, should probably just continue development, so we'll bring the other knight into the game. And just wait and see what he does here. You know, maybe another possibility would have just been to immediately move this knight up here. Then if he captured, we'd have a pawn here in the center. Although this d5 square, well, no, we could use this pawn to cover it. So maybe we'll go ahead and do that now and see what he does. But I don't know. If he just retreats the bishop and we capture this knight, the queen will just come up here. And it just helps him develop. So we'll just move our queen here, see what he decides to do next. And then, all right, now he's probably trying to prepare to push here. So, I don't know, maybe we'll just push this pawn up here to E5. But then I'd have to worry about this backwards pawn. So if I push this pawn up here to E5, you know, and then he pushes, we'd have capture, capture. You know, I could capture, his knight could capture. I would end up with an isolated pawn. So let's see. Instead, we'll just develop here. You know, I'm trying to decide where to put this bishop as well. Do we want to fianchetto and put the bishop here? You know, or should we just push forward, have the bishop here? We'll go ahead and do this. Bring the bishop up here. Okay. So now we can do this. And just wait and see what he plays next. He's probably going to just push here. Push forward. Okay. So now, you know, if we push here, I guess maybe that would be best. Go ahead and just capture. Now this is interesting. We can just ignore this knight here. I could castle, but you know, maybe I should push forward here and then place this bishop here, or do we just kick that knight away? I don't know. That would leave me with a backwards pawn. Also, if he captures my knight, I can capture towards the center. So You know, the question is, do I go ahead and castle here? Am I going to end up being in trouble if I castle in that direction? There is a possibility. So, let's see. Okay, if he captures my knight and I recapture and he pushes here, you know, I'd be forced to capture and I'd have this isolated pawn. So let us just reposition our bishop to a better spot here. So we'll do that. We'll swing our bishop over here. And see what he decides to do. All right. So move the bishop up to b7. We did burn some time up there. Okay, well, now continue our plan. We'll just bring our bishop up. See what he decides to do here. He could try and jump here, then maybe here at some point. Yeah, that's a possibility. We should probably swing this rook over here to c8, and we might have a threat up here on his bishop. You know, we could take his knight. Okay, well, now what? We'll just move that over to there. That seems good. All right, so how should we continue here? We are putting pressure up this half-open C file, so you know that could work in our favor. And our bishop is lined up towards the king. So I've held off castling because I'm worried about, you know, both of these bishops firing down here towards my king side. That could be a problem. But let's see what he decides to do. He could try and jump another knight in here, sacrifice one knight. Okay, so he decides to do that. All right. Well, we should probably capture. All right. Well, might as well just capture. His knight will jump in there. Oh, he can't. The knight cannot. Well, he'll have to capture this way. Okay. Yeah, so this is a little tricky. If he captures here, you know, we can just capture his knight. So his other knight on d4 will have to capture my knight first. So, you know, obviously, okay, he saw it. He calculated that out. All right, all right. So if we go here, he'll attack our bishop. We can retreat that bishop back. All right. So, if we capture with the queen, well, he could just, well, then if he captures, we have a mate threat, but he could capture with the rook. We'll see what he does. See what he does here. So now if he captures with that knight, we have a mate threat on his king to checkmate in 1 up here on g2. So if he captures with the rook, we can attack the rook with our bishop here. I don't know though, because then, what does he do? Swing the bishop over, or the rook over here and attack this unprotected pawn? Then that's a possibility. All right. But then I guess we could move our rook here, but then we'd be stuck in the center. All right, anyway, so while he figures that out, we also have a possibility to attack his queen up this. Okay, so he decides to do that. Well, now we could attack. Let's see. We could attack here. He could block with a bishop, I guess, or just move his queen out of the way. But to keep the pressure on, well, now he could move up here. No, he can't. Okay. Well, we might as well just attack that rook. So just attack the rook and see what he decides to do here. Well, okay. So if he moves here, we could let him take this pawn maybe. And then, it opens up a line on his king. All right, so he decides to do that. Is there any way we can attack this knight? Let's see. Let's see. Any way to attack that knight? And I guess we could, well, I don't know. Should we just castle? Are we going to run into trouble if we castle? That gives him time to, come up with a counter plan against us. So, what would you do here? Let's see. We have the threat still with a mate here. How can we continue? How can we continue or press our advantage here? Okay. And if he moves his queen, if we put a rook here and threaten it, well, we could also push forward here. But then if we capture here, he can capture here. So could be risky to castle to the king side now with these bishops lined up here, because if he captures, he could jump his knight in here. Do I push a pawn here? and see what he does with that. I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just push the pawn up and wait and see what he does. Okay. Okay, now I could probably castle. Or do I push further here, go after his knight? That could weaken things on my king's side. And he could just push forward to stop me from trying to continue an attack here. Let's see. Do I reposition this knight back here? No, then he could attack my queen. Well, I guess it's time to castle. But then he could have a counter threat here. Let's see. He could have a counter threat by putting his queen here and trying to line up, and my knight is protecting me for now. But all right, well, here we go. Here goes nothing. We're castling into the king's side where both of his bishops are lined up, so that could be bad news. Bad news indeed. He could sacrifice a bishop here. Then if we recapture, his queen could threaten to attack. Then what do we do? I don't know. That may have been a mistake. I guess we'll find out. Maybe he'll be occupied, yes, with this over here. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just capture. That did give his rook this open file, which we could fight for over here. Okay, does that do anything? I mean, do we have to worry about that? I mean, I could just attack. That with my bishop, I guess. Attack with the bishop. Well, let's get this rook activated that's not doing anything. So what we'll do is go here, line up on his queen, and see what he does next. His threat was capturing my bishop here, and then my queen would have to capture, and then his queen could have jumped down here and captured this bishop. So at least now we have a threat of capturing his queen with a bishop check on h2. So bishop to h2 check, and his king would capture, or his knight would capture that, and then we could capture his queen. So that is an interesting option. All right, let's see how this will continue. So, he's thinking, so he should be able to notice that if my bishop moves and checks his king, I'll capture his queen. So he should either block his queen or move it, or block the line of this rook on his queen. or move his king, or excuse me, well, he could move his king as well. So if my bishop moved, it wouldn't check his king. But what would be better? Maybe moving his queen up to here, possibly. He can't move his knight or I'll get a checkmate on him. He could develop his other bishop to here. That's a possibility. All right. So, okay, so he moves his queen, just lines up on this pawn, and then maybe he's thinking the rook could come up here and his queen, and rook could attack it. He could even move his bishop here and try and attack. All right, so what I should do is, how can I continue this attack? Well, what is this knight doing? It's covering this so his queen doesn't try a later mating battery with queen and bishop down here to h7. Okay, the threat is, well, should I exchange off this rook here? Maybe that's a possibility. Okay. Or do we ignore all that and just push forward here? I guess we could try that as well. We could just, oh, well, I have to do something about this. No, I guess I could ignore that. Push this pawn forward. If he pushes forward and I try and attack, my bishop will be unprotected. All right. Well, what should we try now? Do we move here and attack that? He could just move up to there. All right. Well, I think we should probably just attack. Attack that rook. And it puts our bishop in an interesting spot, lined up on the king there. So, maybe that could end up being a threat. And, if the knight wants to jump in here at some point, he can't do it yet because we have a mating threat up here. Okay, so as expected, all right, do we just push forward now? Do we just push forward? All right. Well, just continue with our plan. We'll push forward. And my time is getting low, so I'm down to 4 minutes. I need to get a move on here before I end up in time trouble. All right. still have that mating threat lined up there with the bishop and the queen. But, you know, he could try and exchange off the queens maybe by jumping down in here, you know, and then what I'd do, I would be forced to capture his queen probably. His rook would capture. I could go after his knight and double his pawns. But, okay, so he decides to do that, which will... Let's see, what kind of threats can I... What kind of threat can I do? Do I attack this rook here? Attack the rook. Attack the rook with the bishop. Or just move my queen over and attack. So maybe that would work. Just run over here and attack this. He could possibly move there. All right. Well, looks like maybe the best thing would be to just attack with my queen there. All right, attack with the queen. Is that what we want to do? Or attack with the bishop. He would have to move. We could just capture this pawn. You know, but where would he go? He could swing over where? All right, we'll do that. We'll just attack like this. All right. Now if he moves here, well, then we could just attack again with our bishop on a6. All right, so he retreats away. This will give us a chance to pick off this pawn here and attack his queen. But then he could block. No, he can't. All right, so we'll just do that. You know, and was that best, or should I have tried something else? All right, well, we're kind of locked in now. All right, and we're attacking his bishop, so that's good for us. Attack that bishop. What will he do? Probably the best thing might be to move the bishop back here to the back rank and guard the knight, because if not, we could capture the knight and bust his pawns apart, creating weaknesses over there around his king, targets for the endgame. Let's see here. So probably just a retreat by the bishop might be best. Okay, so that's something I guess I overlooked, him just moving forward and attacking me. All right. Well, what should we do now? I guess we could attack this other rook. If he captures, it would pull our knight up further into the game. So that is possible. So maybe that would work for us. But once our knight gets here to e4, then what? And I'm running out of time, so I need to hurry this along. So we'll go there. Oh, and I could just capture with the bishop as well. Leave that knight there. That might be a good option as well. Huh. Interesting. So maybe he wants to trade off here. All right, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to just go ahead and capture. All right, so he gives himself a pawn that's isolated now. So what do I do? Just move forward here? Just move forward with my knight. Threaten to capture that pawn. Okay, well now, do I capture with the rook? We'll go ahead and do that. Capture with the rook. Because I didn't want to put my bishop in front of the rook and then have that rook unprotected there. Here the rook can help control this open file, although this knight should just jump right in here. All right, so he attacks. Then what? Then what? We go here, I guess. All right, and now he's attacking me. So what now? What now? Guess we're moving here. Will his knight jump in there now? No, his knight, oh, if his knight goes here, I can capture it, because if he recaptures, I'll get his rook that'll be unprotected. So he didn't see that. So now if he captures, I capture his rook. So that should be enough to win the game right there. All right, whew. And I'm low on time too. So he overlooked that tactic. And so that's what I talked about in some of my videos. The fastest way to improve your chess is to do tactical drills. You know, start with like maybe 50 problems and basic stuff, you know, 1 or 2 move problems, and then work your way up from there. Okay, where do we want to put this? I guess, well, we could just attack him. Might as well just do that. Okay. All right, so now we have to move this, but now we can just check him. Oh man, I should have moved this rook to a better spot because, or my other rook, because if he tries to attack my rook, I can move mine out of the way and have a discovered check on his king. So, but now there's nothing I can do to take advantage of that. Let's see. I could try and threaten a mate. By jumping all the way over here. If he moves his pawn, then I capture here. All right, discovered check. We'll go here and threaten to continue, or threaten a mate in one by capturing here, and that should do it. That would be a mate in one. So he needs to see this move, that if my rook captures right here on G2, okay, he saw it. All right, well, what do we do now? Well, let's see. I guess we could just go here. Threaten to capture. All right. Okay, I should be good. We'll just check him. Then we can go here and threaten another check. All right, well, we'll check him first. Okay, now we should just trade off material and we'll be winning. So let's see. We'll just do that. Move forward here. All right. Well, if he takes ours, we can capture his. Okay, so we should be good now. We're low on time, but with the increment added, we'll have enough time to win. So, if he captures here, we can just capture him. If he captures our rook, then, we'll just recapture and he'll have doubled pawns and our king can kind of go over here and go after them. But then he'll have to just stop this passed pawn the whole time with his king. So we'll be winning here. Alright, so we might as well just march this other pawn up as well. Okay, so he resigns after that other pawn. He can't stop both of them. Alright, well, that was an interesting game. I was worried he was going to get some attack on me earlier. Let's see here. I will go ahead and do a game review in the next video where I'll go through the moves with the computer and see what I missed, what both of us probably missed, and see how I can improve. But interesting game in the Sicilian defense. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments or suggestions. And any requests, leave a comment with a request for any particular type of chess video you would like to see in the future, and I'll try and work on that. So have a good day, everyone. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and leave those comments, and have a great day.